This is your life, and I'm about to drop in on some real and lively Cockneys having the time of their life inside there, with, by the way, cameras from Australian television lulling some of them into belief that nothing else could happen, but it could and it will if I can squeeze my way past that sing-along crowd with a New Year surprise that's a cracking cockles and whelks story that would warm your heart like roasted chestnuts, eh? All right, now, well, let's see if I can get into that rub-a-dub without one of those crafty Cockneys fucking in my boat race. Get it, eh? Here we go. Have it for real, too.
Yes, I'm a robber till I die. That's the reason why. Too fast to live, too fast to live, too fast to live, too young to die. Oh, that Miss Mike Robertson.
Well, we made the trip up from the west to say to Charles Hodges and Dave Peacock, Cockney's own Charles and Dave, tonight, this is your life.
Is it in? It's on Mark. It's not that close, eh? Oh dear. It ain't him really, it's not him. Hang on, pull his mask off.
Well, we're all set now, and your regulars, we got posters outside, take us to the theatre where we got a barrel load of surprises, so let's hit the frog and toad, eh?
Did you hear a word of it, Ivan? What did you say, mate?
He was, whatever, we go with you.
You're going to be there, yes. From that reception, sounds like our coach parties of Cockneys all made it here. And so did your drummer, Mick Burke, and the boys. And, of course, the close families of the two of you who've so proudly seen you progress from days of struggle and hardship to the very recent triumph of the London Palladium. Brothers, sisters, in-laws, uncles, aunts, and Dave, here too, your 82-year-old dad, Jack.
All
right, now there you are. And not far away, the two special people who stood by you through thick and thin, sometimes threadbare thin, as you slogged away to establish your own kind of music. Chaz, your wife Joan, and Dave, your wife Sue. That's enough. And now let's just get a taste of the kind of individual music that lifted these two boys from struggle to success.
Come on, we're going to beer and we're going to beer and better to do. Come on, you can keep the cook from home, then you might come over and we'll die down long if we've only can do it. Well, I'm just moving around you to all that's right, but you never get about me now, I'll see the light. Oh, darling. Swinging on the gate, when the private boys of an hour light, when the busy of every city, when the farmers start singing happy days.
I must confess that I'm very curious as to how the composers of such romantic ballads as Rabbit and Goethe swept you off your feet. Sue, Dave was playing with a group in a pub in Lewisham when you first met, right?
That's right, Eamon. He was playing with a group called the Tumbleweeds. So he told me to go down next week and he'd bring his car and take me home. And I went down.
Go on, let us finish.
Take her
Let us finish now.
When I got there, he was sitting in the corner, shivering and shaking, and he said he'd had an electric shock.
Said he'd had an electric shock.
I think he's had more of a shock tonight, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Joan, what about you? You'd only just left school when you and Chaz met, right?
Yes, Chaz was in a group called the Outlaws, and I was working in a store. So he was playing at night, I was working during the day, and we didn't see a lot of each other. Then I got a job as a bunny girl with the Playboy Club, and I went to... Thank you.
Go on.
I went to America for 6 months to train, and while I was over there, all the other bunny girls were getting French perfume as gifts and that, and I got a brown paper parcel from Chaz, and when I opened it, it was 6 copies of the Beano with a, with a little note saying to keep my feet on the ground. So while the other girls were splashing themselves in Chanel, I was reading out what Dennis the Menace was doing.
But he was making you homesick, and you went back to marry him. And here you are, Chaz and Joan, on October the 6th, 1966, at St Andrew's Church, Enfield Town. And Dave, you'd sufficiently recovered from that electric shock to marry Sue on April the 14th, 1973, at Woolwich Town Hall. Now, Dave and Sue, you've no children of your own, but the two of you are godparents to Chaz and Joan's children, and one of them, by the sounds of things, has been getting some musical tips. Not at home as you thought, but right here for the knees up, Juliet, Katie, and that up-and-coming drummer boy there, 11-year-old Nicholas. Well, Chaz Hodges and Dave Peacock, this is your life, and you were born not far from each other in North London. You, Chaz, almost a New Year baby, December 28th, 1943, and you, Dave, a couple of years later, May 24th, 1945. Your family home, Chaz, was at 11 Harton Road, Edmonton Green, and Dave's at since pulled down Northampton Road, Ponders End.
Look.
And that's you, Dave, aged 18 months in the arms of your late mother, and hardly looking as if you were about to burst into song. And here you are, Chaz, age 4, with your late mother, Daisy, who had quite a struggle to bring up the family after your father died when you were only 3.
Hang on, I've got to interrupt you. That's me Auntie Lil.
She looks the image of your mother, Daisy. Your mother, Daisy, was able to boost the family coffers because she was much in demand as a pub pianist in the neighborhood and taught you to play. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. And your uncle Alf here, your mum's brother, had quite an influence on your musical education. He gave you your first guitar. But of course, you weren't the only one with a new guitar. Here's you, Dave, with your very first musical instrument. Brian, how did your kid brother, Dave, come by that?
It was Uncle Abe that bought it down Petticoat Lane, and Uncle Billy Shaw taught him to play it, and he brought it home, and our mum sang all the old songs so we could have a good old sing-song.
And Mary, what was your reaction?
Well, he used to practice and practice, and we used to say to him, take it in the other room. But I never dreamed he'd get on the London Palladium.
Well, one of the first people to spot you two had star potential was another Cockney sparrow who was so impressed by your act, he insisted that then comparative newcomers appeared on his 1981 Christmas show. And though he's appearing in Panto at Oxford, he insisted on being here tonight and leapt aboard a helicopter so he could drop in on you. Your old mate, Jim Davidson. Oh, well, you really went to it and you're all dolled up for your next two.
Yeah, well, I know what Chaz and Dave are snappy dressers, you see. I didn't want to be yeah, look at him. Where's he eyed every guy for tonight?
Tell me, why are you such a fan of these pair?
Seriously, yeah, I'll tell you seriously, right? It's not time for jokes, right? I'm a fan, you know I'm a fan. You go around the world, listen to these people, all these other groups doing things and all this bit of show business there. They say, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you, and we'll go, thank you, good night. And they go off and wait behind the curtains, and they wait for the audience to cheer, and they know they're going to come back and do another 10 minutes. That's all false, you see. Chaz and Dave ain't false like that, and they don't come back on, they don't do that. I'll tell you why. Right. They would do, but they've been left behind them curtains waiting so often. I'm only joking, you're great, you're great. Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you, Jim Davidson. Well, Chaz and Dave, this is your life, and the two of you had yet to meet when you left school and got part-time jobs playing with a number of hopeful local pop groups. Now, Chaz, your daytime job was as a clock repairer, and you, Dave, with a sign writer. But because of your late nights with the pop group, Dave, you didn't always get to work on time. But your boss, whose business was near your home, wasn't letting you get away with it.
Get out of that bed, young Dave. We've got work to do.
The boss who used to waking you up in person in your own home, you haven't seen him since those days, 20 years ago, Eddie Topsom. Eddie, let me ask you one question. Wouldn't it have been easier to fire him?
Well, it would have been Eamon, but Dave was such a nice young chap that I hadn't the heart. And I thought it well worthwhile going down and getting him to come to work.
How right you were. Thank you, Eddie Topsom.
That's right, Eddie.
But Charles, we've been hearing you're no slouch yourself when it comes to taking your shut-eye, especially when with some great pals of yours back in the 60s you were doing one-night stands.
The first time it happened, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw you dropping off to sleep, bang in the middle of a number.
You played with him in the hit pop group The Outlaws, Reg Hawkins and the rest of the Outlaws. The rest of the Outlaws, Billy Kye, Bob Graham and Billy Dean.
Just make it very fast, Reg.
So, Charles, for you and for you, Dave, the Outlaws are together again.
Hey, what about your old friend from Canada?
Yes, of course, the only missing member who returned to Canada in 1964. We've flown him from Vancouver because, like the Mounties, we always get our outlaw, Ken Lundgren. Ken, I know that we only tracked you down at the very last moment, and I'm so glad you could make it all the way from the snowy Rockies.
Well, you know, Chaz and Dave and our families have worked together and been together and watched each other grow up since the very early 60s. And when I found out they were being bestowed with this great honor, I just wouldn't have avoided it for anything.
Now, Ken, is it true what Reg said earlier about Chaz falling asleep on stage?
Oh, I bet you like
Tell the truth.
In the middle of a number, Reg?
That's right, yeah, that's right. Now, we was all playing one night, everything's going great, good sound and everything. All of a sudden, the bass packs up. We all look round, there's Chaz. He's all sort of...
Thank you, the Outlaws! Well, Charles and Dave, it's 25 years exactly since you two first met, a meeting that has to be a chance in a million. Now, it's absolutely amazing to think that all this might never have happened if Charles hadn't missed his last bus home. In fact, he'd just taken Joan home after a date, saw the last bus disappearing into the distance, and started walking down Enfield Highway. A car pulls up.
Whoop, Chaz. Save the old plates, mate, and throw 'em in. I'll give you lift home.
Yes, the driver, an old school pal, Brian Juniper. Brian,
You did that well.
Brian, that was quite a fateful moment when you stopped your car on Enfield Highway 25 years ago.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was that.
Why was it so fateful? Tell us why.
Well, Dave was in the car with me. And,
He was in the back.
Well, he was in the front. He had to get in the back when Chaz got in. And
He wasn't big then.
introduced them, and that was it.
That was the first
Got a
time
lot
they
to
met.
answer for. Yeah.
You've got a lot to answer for. Thank you, Brian Juniper. Well, now, it wasn't long before the two of you discovered you'd got the same pop idol, someone whose skiffle music was sweeping the charts in the early 60s, and Chaz, that was who?
Lonnie Donegan.
Yeah, and Lonnie, you two wrote a song about him, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Lonnie D.
Lonnie D. Well, now, Chaz and Dave, take a look at that screen over there. As you know, that idol of yours lives now in America, happily well on the way to recovery from a recent heart operation, and there he is, Lonnie Donegan.
Hello, Eamon. Hello, boys. Done wonderful for yourselves, haven't you? Marvellous, really. Congratulations. Just think you missed a biggie. You could have been my backing group. Remember the first time I came down and saw you when we were playing at, I think it was Hayes Working Men's Club on a New Year's Eve or something. Albert Lee brought me down and I saw you and we all sat in and had a lot of laughs and played for hours and hours. And I thought, oh, this is it. And I offered you the job and you said, I'm sorry. We just got a new manager and he signed us up for a weird-sounding record label called Rockney or something, which I thought was lunacy. I mean, who can sell a thing called Rockney? But you managed. I think you've done very well for yourself. You got a room for a banjo player in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Life in the old dog yet, you know. I can still do a little bit. You want to hear a little bit? Oh, my old man, the dustman, he wears the dustman's hat. He wears full blimey trousers. What do you think of that?
But not in America by Flying Dust Cart right here, your original pop idol, Lonnie Donegan. Well, back in those days when you were still playing with different pop groups, the two of you used to dream about inventing a new kind of music. You wanted to forge American rock and roll with the Cockney's knees-up numbers you've been brought up with and write the words and music yourself. A foot-stomping mix of rock and Cockney. You called it, as Lonnie said, Rockney, and dropped everything to see if you could make it work. It was tough going. Nobody wanted to know. And Joan, in those struggling days, you'd only just given birth to your second child, Kate, here, hadn't you?
Yes, times were hard. We were kicked out of our flat because we couldn't pay the rent. And we relied, well, my mum and dad were great. They helped us through and they knew we'd get there in the end.
Sure. Sue, you must have more or less been the same for you.
Yeah, times were hard, but we had a lot of fun and we always knew they'd make it.
That's it, baby, yeah.
Well, finally, London pub and club audiences begin to take to your music. Your pal, taxi driver Terry Adams over there, liked your act so much that when he discovered a fare he had was a recording manager, he diverted his cab. Right, Terry?
That's right, Eamon. You know how London cab drivers get to talking to their passengers? Well, I picked Bob up and I told him about Chaz and Dave. Told him to come down to the 100 Club and see them. He did. He loved them and he signed them. That was it.
And what's more, he's still managing you 7 years on. There he is, Bob England.
Yeah.
And then,
Well done, Bob. Got red socks there, Dave.
well, then comes the break you've always drink to. A brewery advertising representative happens to be in on a pub where you're performing one of your original numbers. He likes it, sees it spearheading television commercials, and this is how millions of television viewers heard, though they didn't see, Chaz and Dave, and that leads to a hit record.
Rabbit, 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 rabbit. You got a beautiful chin. You got beautiful skin. Hey, you got a beautiful face. You got taste.
The established stars love it too and want you on their shows. And as well as your great mate Jim Davidson, there's a great comedy duo with whom you struck up warm friendship. They have to be in Bristol in Panto tonight, but joining us on our live link, not so much Rockney as Rochdale, Rock On, Cannon and Ball.
Hello, Eamon. Hello, Chaz and Dave. How are you, lads?
you can speak to us, you
We're
know.
not receiving you loud and clear. It's not your
Have you got
fault.
us
It's gotta
now?
be
Have you got
ours.
us now? Are you receiving us?
I can't hear nothing.
no, wait, no.
Can't hear nothing.
You can't hear nothing?
No.
Can you hear us now?
Go. Nothing.
Napo? Can't hear us now? Napo? Hey, Chaz and Dave, how are you, Sam? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Good. Chaz, answer me.
Ah, we're hearing you.
Oh, good, good, yeah, good. They would just say that Bobby and myself would have loved to have been there, lads, as you know, but as you can see, Bobby and myself are hard at it at pantomime, but I can tell you this, you deserve the night you're having. Enjoy it, boys. We know what you're going through, because me and Bob have the same. Enjoy it, lads.
Lads, can I just say, do you like mine and Tommy's costumes? Like a couple of pufters, don't we? I just want to say this, lads. You've also had another honour bestowed on you because you've just been voted the best dressed men in showbiz. And I also want to say, Chaz, I'm not going to tell the people about you and Dave living together.
Tell them.
Tell them.
Anyway, Chaz and Dave, have a lovely evening. Before we go.
Hey.
What? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, lads. Cheers.
Thank you, Tommy Cannon and Bobby Ball in Bristol. Well, Chaz and Dave, of all the hits you've had since those early days of struggle, I dare say few moments have given greater pleasure to you two North London boys than being asked to write the FA Cup final songs sung by teams and fans alike for the 1981, then 1982 Wembley appearances by the teams you supported since you were a couple of Cockney kids, Tottenham Hotspur. And running from the tunnel tonight, just for you, those Wembley Spurs, Steve Perryman, Ozzy Ardiles, Garth Crooks, Graham Roberts, Mike Hazard, Mark Falco, Paul Miller, Chris Houghton, Tony Galvin, Gary Mabbert, John Chidozi, Clive Allen, and Ray Clements. Well, that same year, another song played an important part in your lives and an all-important part in the life of someone else. A 10-year-old boy, a total stranger, left in a coma after a near-fatal car crash near Wrexham, his mother in desperation, who knew he's a great fan of yours, wrote to you.
And a few days later, they sent me a special tape.
The mother of that boy, Agnes Scroggy. Now, Agnes, the doctors recommended that you play that tape to your son.
Yes. Chaz and Dave come into Wexham Park Hospital to see
Apart
him.
from the tape now,
Yes.
they came in person.
Yes,
Yeah.
to see him and play some songs. And also help to save his life. And I also would like to thank Chaz and Dave for saving my son's life.
Thank you. She told us today that it is something she will never, ever forget. Nor will her boy, now a fit 15, James Scroggy, the boy himself. Charles and Dave, pride of the Cockneys, this is your life.
Here we go. Okay, right. Here we're gonna take my ball in our hair. Your sister's coming, it's coming over there, coming up, give a back in this right here. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, because I'm here in the time over here, and pass all that as a couple. I'm sick of me, mother, let me have a go with that, so we got to do it, and it's all me. Go, Dave, it's just the town, they come down here, they tell me around. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, they come down here, the boss mob here in the time over here, and pass all that as a couple. Oh, go on, stop thinking that we've got a job. The ain't very much of that, the real mama says,